Hello and welcome to the Youth in Politics 1st District Congressional Forum between Democrat Shelley Pingree and Republican Charlie Summers. I'm your moderator, Justin Chenette. Here's the format of the forum. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. I reserve the right to ask follow-up questions and to stop a candidate if it is time to move on. In addition, each candidate will have 2 30-second responses to the opponent anytime during the forum. In addition, towards the end of the forum, each candidate will give closing remarks. Let's begin. Change, change, change. It is a word we hear politicians and political pundits say over and over. Clearly define what change you would like to see happen in Washington, and specifically how, as U.S. Representative, you will work to make that happen. Currently, this nation is facing the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Millions of Americans are losing their homes to foreclosures, banks are squeamish to provide services such as loans, and the government just spent close to $1 trillion in a bailout rescue package. Number one, do you think that the bailout was the best solution? Is it the be-all, end-all solution? And if not, what else needs to be done? How, as U.S. Representative, will you foster economic growth and job creation in the state of Maine? Do you support the Bush tax cuts on wealthy Americans, or the trickle-down effect, as it is sometimes referred to, and the tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas? To clarify, you would support tax cuts on Americans that are the wealthiest in this nation, as opposed to tax cuts for middle-income families. The question is, do you support Dirigo, and would you support raising taxes on beverages in order to pay for it? Let's stay on the issue of healthcare. There are currently around 47 million Americans living without healthcare insurance. Charlie, it says on your website that you support a national healthcare policy that will make affordable quality care available to all Mainers. Would you support either a universal or a single-payer program? How much will it cost, and how will you do it? Shelley Pingree, your health care plan, and how would you pay for it? Just to follow up, you said that you would have individuals cover the cost. Would that mean raising taxes to pay for it? Do you believe that the No Child Left Behind Act has been beneficial and should be expanded, or do you believe we should repeal the program altogether and start anew? How would you make college affordable? Let's turn to the issue of energy. Recently, Saco was named the greenest city in the state of Maine for its energy savings and green investment. Shelley Pingree, would you support investing in alternative energy sources and green technology if you're elected to Congress? Do you support offshore drilling as a solution to end our reliance on foreign oil? Okay, turning to foreign policy issues, both of you have fundamentally different opinions on how to handle the Iraq war. Shelley Pingree, you believe we should start bringing our troops home. Charlie Summers, you believe that the troops should stay for at least 12 to 18 months. Charlie, according to a recent CNN poll, 65% of Americans oppose the war. Number one, do you think this issue will hurt you in this race? And number two, describe your plan and strategy. Okay. Shelley Pingree, plan and strategy for Iraq war. Shelley Pingree, one of your many opponents in the primary, Senator Ethan Strimling, criticized your candidacy on the issue of campaign transparency. He stated that you took campaign donations from individuals connected to hedge funds. Charlie Summers has also criticized you on the same issue with accepting $52,000 from a hedge fund manager. Would you be influenced either by a lobbyist or a significant campaign donor if you were voting on a controversial piece of legislation in Washington? Charlie Summers, would you be influenced by a lobbyist or significant campaign donor? All right, let's close that issue. Each candidate will now give a 2-minute closing remark, starting with Charlie Summers.
Sure. Justin, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I think these forums are important because the issues that we'll be dealing with in Congress are going to affect each and every American.
Shelley Pingree, your closing remarks.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having us here today, and great to see your questions. There's nothing more challenging than being asked questions by a high school student. You do a wonderful job, and I know your classmates must be very proud of you, and I'll look forward to seeing you somewhere in politics in the future. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today.
Freedom, liberty, democracy, independent. They're what make America and Maine great. It's your government, but only if you get out and vote. Make your voice heard. Register, then vote on November 4th, and keep it tuned to Youth in Politics Sundays at noon, only on the CW Channel 12. That wraps up the Youth in Politics 1st District Congressional Forum. I'd like to thank Shelley Pingree and Charlie Summers for coming. I'm Justin Chenette. This has been Youth in Politics. See you next time. Okay. All right. We got through everything.
Did it?